for the Brewery Underground podcast.
In Nashville's harbor wise, craft and brews will meet the skies. Stephen Scott, they lead the way. Brewery Underground, night and day. Raise your glass, let's ignite. In this city, we unite. Raise your glass, let's ignite. In this city, we unite.
Well, here on the Brewery Underground podcast, Scott Turon, we are in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, USA. And not far from us, in Atlanta, Georgia, sits a great brewery known as Sweetwater. And we're so excited.
There we
We
go.
are so excited.
They're a pretty sweet brewery. I
Sweet
figured
to
you'd
have
use
'em.
that.
A play on
figured you were
words.
gonna
That's
use
how,
that.
that's how we're starting this. A play on words. How sweet it is. How's this? How sweet it is to have Evan Woolard. He is a senior brand manager for Sweetwater Brewing Company on with us on the Brewery Underground podcast. Evan,
What an intro,
hello.
man. So, I didn't tell you guys this. When I was in Music City, you can rent an Airbnb, Johnny Cash's old apartment. And I can confirm it is old and it is an apartment, but you stay there for like the experience and it's like right where the live music is.
Mhm.
So if you want to go for a good time, stay there. If you want to get sleep, definitely don't. But that's my story of my Airbnb in Nashville.
Have remnants of Johnny Cash in there? Anything?
There are like music posters. There is what I think was a bed. I don't know how old it was. Again, like it kind of doesn't matter because the music is blaring from right outside the street.
Yeah.
I booked it just to say I could book it, and then I'm pretty sure I expensed it. So, we win and we lose.
It wasn't like a fire pit nearby, like the Ring of Fire or anything like that.
That would have been cool. Like if it was a whole Johnny Cash
Yeah.
like Nashville experience, that would have been great.
Yeah.
No, I love Nashville. Been there many times. Never for a bachelorette party, but have had many beers.
Well, then you came for the right reason if you didn't come for a bachelor party. Because any other or bachelorette party, because any other reason is acceptable.
Well, Evan, and I love it in Atlanta. I have friends in Atlanta. I probably have been to Atlanta a dozen times. I've been down there to see the Braves take on the Cincinnati Reds, which is my team. And I've done other things down there with friends over the years. Love Atlanta. Don't love the traffic. But the funny thing was, I had some friends in from Atlanta earlier, about a year or so ago, and met them at some breweries here in Nashville. And they were even talking about almost comparatively now how bad the traffic is compared to Atlanta. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
we're moving on up.
Nashville's not good. I will tell you, you guys, I think, hang your hat on being like low key fun. We're all about the music, but like your traffic's not great either.
It's
I
horrible.
ride into town and I'm sitting there. It is bumper to bumper.
Yes.
So welcome to the party, guys.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it
We're
is.
part of the club now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we throw out you a lot of questions, there's a lot of things that we have to thank you for. Scott and I are wearing the merch
see
that
this?
you sent us.
Some
Well,
trout.
Sweetwater.
Sweetwater.
Yeah. Got the hat
Dang it.
on.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't
Yep.
put mine on, but mine's right here. Sweet hats,
All
if I may
right.
say. No pun intended.
I love it.
Got it.
Beautiful hats. Beautiful.
Good. All right. So our UPS account is live or FedEx, whichever it is. So
I can't
glad it
confirm.
arrived.
I can confirm when it came to my house, they knocked on the door and they wanted my signature, and he knocked pretty hard. So I
Look at
thought, well,
that.
it's either
Okay.
a delivery guy or it's the police, and I don't think it's going to be the police knocking on my door. Thank God.
One you
Yeah.
answer the door for and the other one you don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
You know
perfect.
why you needed a signature, Steve?
Hmm.
Because it had beer in it, is what
I
my
know.
guess is going to
yes.
be.
There we go.
Yep.
It's
And
a
we've
beer
got beer.
podcast.
It's a beer podcast.
All right. I
Mhm.
love it.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Love
Yeah.
those.
Cheers. Let's go around.
Some
So
new
Steve, you're
brands.
drinking the day trip, which came in our care package.
I did. This is my first time at the day trip.
Okay.
I just started drinking it a few minutes ago. And
Sweet.
can you explain to us what the day trip is all about?
Yeah. So day trip took a long time for us to make. How long do we have? We have 90. I could fill up this
As
entire
long as you
time
want.
Go
on day
for it,
trip.
man. Go for it.
So Sweetwater, we were born here in Atlanta, and our founders, Freddie and Kevin, came here in '96. Freddie is from Southern California, and they went to school in Boulder. So if you think like late '80s, early '90s, and just the influence that those two areas, as far as beer goes, like had on Freddie and Kevin. They come here in '96 for the Shania Twain World Tour. I'm kidding. They came here for the Olympics. Usually that joke like lands hard. Like what? No, they came here for the Olympics, and it was really like a lot of opportunity for craft beer here in Georgia and the South. And the beer that influenced them the most was West Coast style beers and IPAs. So we really pride ourselves, and our brewers pride themselves on making just a great lineup of India Pale Ales. And it had kind of been a while. Day Trip was kind of a revisit back to our roots. We've got a whole portfolio of IPAs, but we wanted to come out with like, where are IPAs going? What is the future of IPAs? How do we invite like a new consumer or customer? How do we invite them to IPAs? Because, IPAs have a stigma, hot shop and super bitter, and, you have one and like you're good if you're new to craft beer. So we kind of wanted to flip that on its head. So Day Trip, what you've got there, we spent months and months and months and months testing and wanted to come out with a beer that was like, okay, what if we had an IPA that was like you have the bitterness that an IPA aficionado is going to enjoy, but you also have a flavor and an attitude that's going to invite a consumer to enjoy it. Aroma wise, it's like you're going to have citrus and you're going to have some of those tropical notes, but it's not one of the new, I think there's a whole new craze around like fruited styles. And where we wanted to go is like the only fruit and the only aroma you're going to get out of this is from where we do our work with the hop. So, it's one of those, and it took us a long time. It took a lot of testing, reiterative, consumer panels. And where we netted out was, we have an IPA that's like high on refreshment. And when like you don't score super well on refreshment when you think of IPAs, and just a lot of things that we didn't have in our lineup. And we've got multiple IPAs in our lineup, and this one fit in so well. And then we started to go to bars and restaurants. We've got a great sales team, a great distributor presence, just great relationships throughout Atlanta and throughout Georgia. And they're like, I don't drink IPAs. This one I could get into. Or like, you guys have 500 IPAs. But this one, I could see, like, I understand why it fits. So we're super excited about it. And we're not ones to kind of, ring the bell or shout from the mountain. But, we're excited. It's the #1 new craft beer in the Southeast. It's kind of taken on a ton of momentum this year, whether it's, on premise or in package. The beer's great. I've enjoyed it. Sometimes like if my wife listens, like earmuffs, but like I'll have a 6-pack and then I'll just be like, shit, where did that 6-pack go? I also don't know. Can I cuss on this podcast? I don't know. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll try to leave it to S words.
Doesn't matter.
So yeah, we're super proud of Day Trip. Just again, we pride ourselves on IPAs, West Coast style beers. This is kind of trying to get more folks interested in IPAs, and that was our goal. And I think we're doing a great job at it.
Is this one only in the Southeast distributed so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
We keep it super close to the vest, and we're based in the Southeast, so you can find it, Florida, Georgia, I think all the way up to DC, as far west as the Mississippi, Southeast. If you're not the SEC, where now we have like Texas and Oklahoma and Missouri, so it's
Expanding everywhere.
I don't know what the Southeast is anymore, but yeah, you can find it kind of in our home like regional market, which is part of our strategy just to really build momentum. Here in Georgia, there's been a lot of great feedback. It's a great beer, and there's not a lot of IPAs like this in our market that it's really attracting some attention.
Yeah, and drinking it, as it goes down, it's a nice tasting beer.
Yeah.
It goes down, you're tasting the hops, and then boom, there's the citrus.
Yeah.
and they combine right at the moment that you're really wanting to taste the beer of it, the flavor profile of it.
Yeah. That's like totally what we were going for on our, it is the toughest beer that we've made. Like the hops that we procured, go all the way to our brewers have told me, like, if we reach a certain threshold with this beer, we will run out of hops in the Northern Hemisphere. So I was like, well, that's a problem. Good problem.
Won't sell
But,
too much of it.
We'll see when we get there. So,
Yeah.
it's a very complex beer for our team, and I think our team has crushed it. And I've enjoyed drinking many of these on a college football Saturday this fall.
I could see that. Yep.
The ABV is nice too, 6.6. It's kind of
Yep.
right in the middle, right, kind of right where you want to be for a nice IPA, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot, West Coast styles. Our sister breweries, Green Flash and Alpine, a lot of those are 7%ers. We've got beers in our portfolio that are in the low 6s. So it was kind of like, what's a nice kind of in between spot that somebody could have a good time with dinner, pairing with food, or, be, just nice and refreshed in the afternoon on their day trip. I hate that I said that. Let's edit that part out. Let's edit that out.
Well, listen, and it's kind of the opposite. I'm drinking one that came in our care package as well, and it's called Dive Beer.
Dive Beer.
And it's a lager, and it's
Good
4%. So kind of the opposite of that one, and I'm drinking it, and it's really good. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's really smooth. It's really nice and light, but it's got a lot of flavor to it also.
Yeah, you guys went like polar opposite there.
Well, and I actually, because you guys sent these a few days ahead of time, I had this one a few days ago already, so I've already tried that one. I couldn't wait. That's right, I couldn't wait. It's really good.
No, it's delicious. So this is another new one from you guys too, right?
Yeah. So we
new.
don't. I mean, I feel like if we hang our hats on IPAs, but there's a whole contingent of craft beer fans who lagers are a style that we are such a large portion of craft beer and beer overall. So where we were going with dive beer, and it looks a little bit different, was kind of, we wanted to have fun with it. We wanted to have kind of an homage to a few nights where we stay out late. I'm like pointing to these bars over here where we stay out late, as if you guys can see them.
That's okay.
But just kind of an homage to where we've had many a brainstorm, many a late night, in the beers that come with them, right? And dive beer was another one where we knew what we wanted. We wanted something where, if you're on the lake, like Sweetwater is it's such a brand that is just, a product that's so great to consume on the water. We were born on the river. We have so many lakes around Atlanta. We're 3 hours from the coast. So it's like, what are the beers people love to drink when they're on the water? And we felt like this was something that we wanted to bring to market, but knew was gonna, again, just like Day Trip, kind of a challenge for us. But we went through that same reiterative process. This was such a nightmare, honestly. We went through that same reiterative process, and then we realized within like 2 months, like, we have this killer beer with Day Trip, and then we have a killer beer with Dive Beer, and we launched them both at the same time. 2 beers from a very opposite sides of the spectrum. And Dive Beer was just so, it's honestly like beloved by our team downstairs. The brewers love this beer. We don't have a lager really in the Sweetwater portfolio under the Sweetwater brands, and we felt like we needed that. It is super good. We tested this one and we felt so strongly about it, but the big sticking point for us was, here in the Southeast and in this day and age, I don't know if the government's going to be shut down, if it's going to be open, or, affordability of beer, affordability of groceries. So one of the areas that we wanted to address was, how can we provide a beer that is high quality, high refreshment, great tasting? You get all of those, but you can get it at a lower price point. And that's essentially became the ethos of dive beer, and why it is quote unquote dive beer. It's like, well, you're going to have a good time, but you're going to be able to afford this. And who knows, the economy's going to go, who knows where the beer shelf is going to go, we want to provide you guys with an entry point to craft beer. And that entry point fits, if it's affordability, great. If it's, turning IPAs on its head so that you guys can have a new understanding of IPAs, that's great. But it's all about overall inviting like a new cohort of people to enjoy Sweetwater, enjoy craft beer, and just kind of raising the overall tide of the industry. So that's Bad Beer.
We have come across in the last year or so many brewers and breweries doing, and this doesn't say light lager, but the 4% maybe is, but it's not mandatory to have one. But if you have one and you do it well, it's gonna sell. Like we've come across many of it, and they're all really good. If you'd said I was gonna drink a light beer, a light lager a couple of years ago, I'd have told you were crazy. But they're delicious.
Yeah.
I got no problem drinking this. This is very good.
Yeah, it's like, the stigma on a light lager is like, oh, are the mountains blue, or stuff like that. And you can read between the lines there. But for us, it's like a craft brewery can do a light lager and do it very well. And, craft beer can still be at a range where we can invite people to enjoy it. And price is not something they have to worry about.
Scott and I joke sometimes, when we go to breweries about, we're doing market research, content for the podcast.
I do a lot of market research.
Yes, of course we do. Of course we do, right? Talking about the beer and talking to great folks like you. I really come to love the lager game, and a lot more, as Scott kind of alluded to, than I used to almost to the point now when I walk into a brewery, and if, whatever I'm going to do, if I'm going to get a flight, I'm going, I want your lager. I want to see how that lager tastes, and I want to hear about the 411 of this lager. Is it new? Are you keeping up with the times? Because if you're not, I think you're going to lose a lot of consumers out there.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a way to simplify. You walk into a brewery and it's like, oh, it's got Pilsner malt, it's got some hops, and it's got a ton of water on it, right? But lagers a good lager is hard to make. And I definitely have a new respect for the team. Again, the process that they had to go to where we're testing this, we get feedback, and feedback can range from color to carbonation to crispness or crispiness. I'm not sure. Probably a bit of both.
A little bit of crispy, yeah.
So I think the appreciation around craft lagers has been low, where it's a very tough style to make, and making sure craft beer is kind of at the forefront and stewarding the industry. I think a lot of folks just need to be, hopefully there are more brands that can invite again that cohort to enjoy craft beer. Hopefully lager is another step. Like IPAs aren't for everybody. Lagers are for a different subset. And, bringing attention to whether it's Sweetwater or another brewery down the road, I think there's raising the portfolio, raising the visibility of lagers is another way to raise visibility of craft beer.
You probably wear a lot of hats at the brewery, but your title is Senior Brand Manager. Can you kind of talk about what your day entails and what that job title means?
Yeah. I wear a lot of hats because most days I don't shower. So I own
That's
a
why
lot
we're
of
doing
hats.
this remote today.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, no, it's great. I've been in this role. So I started Sweetwater about 5 years ago. I've been in this role for about 3 years, and it's great. I get to piss a ton of people off. I get to annoy our brewers. I get to annoy our sales team. I get to annoy our taproom team. All folks who are, just way more talented and gifted than I am. And it's a ton of fun. Our day ranges from, I walk in and we do a lobby, we shotgun beers. I
That's
come up
awesome.
to the desk and it's time for a desk beer. And, after that, it's time for quality panel. So I have 5 beers there. And,
Yeah.
then it's lunch, so I'll probably have a beer for lunch. Anyway,
It's exactly how I pictured your title would be.
yeah, managing the brand. It's great. It's so rewarding because you work with a ton of different folks. All of the folks who I mentioned previously, the taproom team, our brewers, our sales team, graphic designers, like having visibility into just the entire ecosystem is amazing. And at a place like Sweetwater, where I've seen it, grow throughout the years, it's very humbling. My day just includes crazy things. Innovation. We could have great discussion. We could have what we call bad ideas only. Advertising, consumer panels. The research is very rewarding because you get to hear these things that you didn't, even think of. And then you understand like consumers are changing. So there's always like this ongoing, if you do consumer research in 2020, it's very different from 2024 or even pre-pandemic to now. Like just the habits change. So yeah, it's crazy. It's a ton of fun. It's every day wearing different hats and not knowing what's going to come up. From beer to music festivals to anywhere that I can help out. But again, mostly I usually do more harm than hurt, and I just end up making people mad. So
just pissing everybody off.
Yeah, I have two questions. Are you on this committee? Are you on the committee that helps name these new beers that have come out?
Committee, yeah.
Panel committee,
Yes. Yeah. It's kind of it's a group think, but yes. What did we get wrong?
You didn't get anything wrong. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. How much fun is that being part of that where you're banning about different names?
Man, Sweetwater goes back 28-ish years. And there is such a legacy and just Georgia Brown, for example, named after a song, but also like our home, also a style of brown ale. Like, man, how perfect. And naming is hard. All the good names are taken. Yep. They're taken. But like, there's such a great legacy here at Sweetwater with the beer and the team and the family that has been around Sweetwater for many, many years that kind of just have I texted, old Sweetwater people? Definitely. Have I visited with them? Absolutely. And just picking their brain, trying to understand like what goes in a name. I think the biggest thing is, with naming, it's understanding the brand. Who is Sweetwater? Sweetwater, we're a brand that just loves a great time, sometimes a little bit too much, but we love music. We love the outdoors. So, you can kind of connect the dots with Day Trip and Dive Beer. There's other times where it's like, we just want to let consumers know about beer. So we've done beers with the most simple names you can understand. IPA, there's not a more basic name than that. We had one, Radler. Guess what style that was? Because the feedback we got was like, a lot of folks just don't know what a Radler is. So let's just educate people on different styles and different opportunities for craft beer. So, there's a wide range of creative names, and sometimes the best avenue is to keep it simple. And I love those because then, check, we're done.
Right.
Yeah.
We move on to the next part, and now we can go shotgun more beers in the lobby.
Everything is a play on the beers. You mentioned a few minutes ago about how basically consumers, what they want has changed. Talk about the 2025 from a Sweetwater perspective of how much you've seen that.
So 2025, I mean, there's so many things at play here. And you guys know, your shelf space is limited. And there's more and more options than ever. I think there's a cohort. There's folks who know Sweetwater, know we're all about quality beer first. You gotta have quality beer, and you gotta be consistent. You gotta deliver on, the beer that I had 10 years ago. God, I hope it's the same. But you have to deliver on that. But then inviting new folks into not even Sweetwater, just craft beer. It's like, okay, how do we meet them where their needs are? And luckily, I've got a lot of younger folks. I have more gray hairs than the screen shows. There's a lot of younger folks here. And one of the things that we're doing, one was an invitation through flavor. So if they don't understand yet what a stout is, they might understand what chocolate is. So calling out, like our fall seasonal that we just released, Boom Chakalaka, is a chocolate stout. And getting them, inviting them through the flavor and then delivering on, okay, you understand it's chocolate? Now you understand it's a stout. Getting them to kind of understand what that is. And it's not just I'm buying beer for enjoyment. I'm buying beer for the education. That's all part of it. And that's kind of so Boom Shakalaka is a seasonal for us. It was here in the fall. We are recording this live in January, as I understand. So I am speaking in present past tense. So, I think that was one of the things we saw. And you can see that with other trending beers, throughout craft beer. Younger folks love flavor, and younger folks are trying to like tip their toe into beer, whether it's double IPAs, whether it's IPAs or Pilsners. So it's trying to meet them in the middle. And our strategy right now is, giving them something they can understand, and then also telling them, what else that something could be.
That's a great point, because you can squash that, hey, I don't like beer statement kind of thing to anyone, really, right? Hey, I don't like beer. Well, let me introduce you to something. Let me educate you on something. And maybe it's not the beer you think it is. If I introduce you to chocolate or something, like, oh, okay, I didn't know this existed.
Yeah.
It's a great, it's a kind of great viewpoint.
It's like, beer, it's like, I kind of want to shake them on their shoulders. Listen to me, young whippersnapper. Like, there's so much you don't know, and you can have so much fun with this, and you can have fun with it through so many vehicles, whether it's Sweetwater or other breweries. Like, those vehicles are pack tight. Those vehicles are styles. Those vehicles are flavor. And just, there's a whole new group here that's increasing their buying power and getting them interested in craft beer. Like, I keep saying this, and not only elevate Sweetwater, it's going to elevate like all of the craft breweries at the table.
And you know what? Looking at the Boom Shakalaka on your website, which love the website, it's a 6% beer. Another one that, another great tasting beer that you could have during the day and maybe have after a day trip.
Or chug when you walk in the front door.
Yeah.
So, with our seasonal rotators throughout 2026, it'll be how do we invite new folks to enjoy craft beer through flavor, but also with these limited time onlys, is how do we bring people back to Sweetwater. You'll see a lot of that, and Boom Shakalaka, like, great one, and our brewers were so stoked about telling me about it. We tried it and we sampled it down in our tap room. Our tap room is such a great like vehicle where you get to like litmus test different things versus folks are like, I'm literally just here for lunch, and I'm like, I'm literally going to give you 3 beers to try.
Come on down.
So it's you get so much feedback through that, and we hadn't had a chocolate stout like in many, many years. So it made a ton of sense for us. We were super thrilled about it, and it makes sense with that strategy of bringing folks back.
Let's go back to basic names for a minute. Sweetwater was one of my introductory brands into craft beer early on.
Okay.
Yeah.
420 was a big part of that. And Sweetwater Blue was another part of that. I drank a ton of that stuff. And they're kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum. But it was something when I was discovering beer. Oh, I like that style now. This blueberry thing was really nice. That's nice and smooth. Anybody can drink that. So I've really got a profound respect. And I always try to support the brand because you guys were one of my introductory brands into craft beer, because you've been around for a long time too. So as I was discovering it, those were some of the ones I had discovered and still like them to this day.
And found on the store shelves, here in Nashville. And even if you go to like a Nashville Predators game, you can get Sweetwater there as well.
You recognize that label a mile away.
Yeah.
So cheers to that. By the way, Sweetwater Blue, am I wrong? At one point, was that just a seasonal beer and now it's a year-round beer? Or was it always a year-round beer and I just only found it sometimes?
So like reverse history. So when I mentioned Freddie and Kevin came here in 96, the brewery opened up in 97. 420 was not the first beer we ever brewed. We had Extra Special Bitters was our first one. That's like my trivia question on the tours. It's like, what was the first beer? And everybody thinks they know it's like 420, and it's not. They're always wrong. And we had our original IPA, which was the first like West Coast style IPA in the Southeast. And then we had Blue, and Blue predates 420.
No way.
And I think it goes back to, like, I'm definitely not answering your question the way you asked it.
That's okay. You just go.
Mumble on. Mm-hmm. So Blue was kind of like, now you see with these consumer trends, everybody wants variety. Not everybody wants beer. And you see like seltzers, see RTDs, and like everything in between. People are doing things with wine and spirits, and Blue for Sweetwater was like the beer for the non-beer drinker, right? Like it was that I keep going back to like flavor can invite people to craft. Blue was our blueberry wheat ale, so approachable. Like, my God, if you're ever in the airport at 6 a.m., like Blue is like that 6 a.m. beer where time like doesn't matter. Nobody knows what time zone they're in. And people are drinking Blue. And by people, I mostly mean me, but like they're like Blue is big concern. So like it smells like blueberries in the morning. Wheat ale, so approachable. So like seasonal, no, but like one of those early beers for us that kind of like got Sweetwater's name out. Of course, 420 as the flagship, IPA, which became a staple here in the Southeast where, Nick Knock is our head brewer and he's been here since 97. And, it's like we brought the hops to the South. Like those are the two that get most of the attention. And Blue has just been, chugging on for 28 and a half years because there are folks there who like, I don't want an IPA. I want a refreshing, flavorful wheat ale, 6 a.m.
Yes.
At the airport.
And Blue just kind of like hit that before seltzers and RTDs and all these other things hit the market.
The blueberry is not overpowering at all. It's light. No, it is refreshing, like you said, but it's there and it's really good. It's still one of my favorite beers of all time.
I mean, blueberries were something I had for breakfast this morning just without the beer.
Just wash it down with the Blue.
I know.
There you go.
Game plan.
There was, and I can remember this, there was a promotion, I guess you guys had done it, and we had gone to Buffalo Wild Wings, and they were running a Blue promotion, and they had the Blue pint glasses, and they were blue. I don't know if did you ever see those? Remember? They were awesome. Of course, I had
blue
to steal
glasses,
them. Of course, I stole them from Buffalo Wild
As
Wings.
you
That's what you're
should.
going to do. Yes.
I'll let our lawyer know. But yeah, that's great. Thank you for telling
That's
me.
where they all went. For the record, I broke them all at some point along the way, too.
It happens.
They don't exist anymore.
It happens. High usage.
Yes. One of the other beers, and it is a 420, and I won't forget, I'll never forget where I had it the first time. It's the 420 G13 strain.
Yeah.
It is the most pungent dank beer I think I've had to date, both on the nose, mostly the nose, and the palate. I was at a tap room, it was Deep South Growlers, and they poured it across the room. And I go, what is that? You could just smell it wafting across the room. How is that beer for you guys? Is it still a big seller? Is it still around? I remember that, and I'll always remember it.
So when I figure out when it's on our production calendar, I will invite you to the brewery. You can figure out Nashville and Atlanta traffic, and you can walk into our brew house, and it smells just extremely dank. I'm like, did somebody just light something up, or was that us? I don't know. But yeah, G13 is just a fun one. And when I talk about that beer, I probably get the vocabulary wrong, but I'm like, this is a sensational beer, as in it will mess with your senses. So my high school teacher is probably going to text me that I misused that word. But like it is so aromatic with the terpenes, but the terpenes go so well with the hops that are used in that. And then there becomes this whole, a lot of people don't know that like terpenes and marijuana strains and hop strains, they're all like close cousins. And that fits perfectly with who Sweetwater was and who, we were born as and continue to be. The G13 continues to be one of our favorite beers to brew, favorite beers to drink, favorite beers to sell, obviously like favorite beer to talk about, because it's like you smell it, right? But then you go in and you drink it and you're like, oh, it's like it's a very tasty hazy IPA.
So I had it. If you don't mind me saying so, I had it a few days ago before we did this podcast as well. I had different variations of Sweetwater over the years. I hadn't had that one. You had mentioned that you have some family out in Brentwood, Tennessee. I was at a place called Cool Springs Wine and Spirits. And I went out there and I was like, I need something new. They have a lot of varieties and I got that. And the hops was the biggest thing that stood out to me that I really enjoyed about that beer.
Yeah. It's like, the aromatic is one thing, and then you taste it, and I feel like a craft beer lover can enjoy the craft behind that beer.
Yeah.
And a lot of work went into that beer, and yeah, we still love drinking that one. It's great. It kind of had its own family for a while, and that one continues to stand out for us.
So is it now just in the 420, or there's still other parts of that, or other maybe styles or beers that you make with it?
So yeah, we did a few, like we did a terpene infused Mexican lager, we did a terpene infused wheat ale, we did a terpene infused double IPA, and they were all like, you're asking me, like, great, go out and buy 5 million cases, But what really stands out was G13. Like, there's so much on just that one beer where our brewers just cracked the case on marrying the hop style to the terpene style so that the aroma brings out flavor, but the aroma doesn't overtake the flavor. And that, to me, makes that beer so special.
They work well together.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go on, I want to say that my day has not ended with Day Trip. No, I'm done with that.
Always got more.
I'm on with another one that you all sent. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah. OG IPA, the Yellow Fella. Around, I don't know about Nashville, around Atlanta, if you say you want Yella, Big Yella, or OG, like, it's got a stigma. It's been around for 28 years. I think I mentioned, like, it's been around longer than 420, and kind of the first of its kind here in Georgia. Another
recognizable label too in can. You can see that thing across the room.
Yeah. And it's kind of, I think as we're kind of in this strange period where, you got folks who, wherever the economy's going, maybe they want to go back to, like, I want to buy a beer that I know is good. So we've seen a ton of momentum around our original IPA. Sometimes I call it OG. Sometimes I call it I yell it. I have so many names for a beer that's literally so simple. But just a great West Coast style that we love. Again, I talked about dive beer being so beloved here by all of our brewers. OG's the other one. Like, we love that beer to death, and it's been around for 28 years and kind of set the scene for what a West Coast style should be in the Southeast. And a bright yellow can, so that you can find it on the shelf and go buy it today.
Yeah, go buy it today. That's the thing. It's like the Sweetwater logo and the Sweetwater brand is so synonymous. But then you look at the can art too, which is also a very important thing. Talk a little bit about the can art for a lot of these different brands.
Yeah, we did a brand refresh a couple years ago, wanting to make, kind of bring our packaging into the new 21st century, which we've been here for 20 years. So, but, a little bit more stylized, a little bit more inviting to folks, particularly younger folks. And with that, so first and foremost, like you see behind me, like Sweetwater, and this is Fletcher, by the way. Fletcher is our rainbow trout. Like, non-negotiable, we have to have this as part of our brand identity. Beyond that, like, we are such a very colorful brand in the way we talk, in the way we party, and in the way we show up on the shelf. So, color was the next non-negotiable. But then beyond that, it was like, how do we focus on who we are and what we care about? You kind of see, like, our can. I don't have an OG. I do. It's in a colorful little pot here. So we wanted to incorporate, like, we were born on the river. Sweetwater Creek is a tributary off of the Atlanta main water source, Chattahoochee National Park. So Sweetwater Creek is based off of the Chattahoochee River. So it's like, how can we include a river on everything we do? How can we just Sweetwater, born on the water, there should be water as part of it, which we didn't before. So first and foremost, you see water as part of the foundation. And then the next part is you kind of see the Atlanta skyline. So, if you're cheering for a competitor, NFL team, and you see the Atlanta skyline, well, not great. But for us, Atlanta's home, and we will embrace that. And we want to make sure Atlanta knows that we're here for the home team, the hometown. Traffic sucks. That's fine. We're in it together. very literally. And so we just with IPA, we kind of show off the skyline, and it's an homage to our hometown, and we had fun.
My brother lives in Texas, and he would come visit me here in Tennessee, and I can't tell you the year, but it's been many years now, and he couldn't get Sweetwater in Texas at that time. And he would come here, and I think Blue was one of the ones he really loved when he come up here. And they eventually got it. And it seemed to be like at one point there was this progression of Sweetwater kind of sweeping the country, or going state to state to state and distributing. And kind of maybe that Southeast you're talking about. How many states are you guys in? Do you know that, or is it primarily the Southeast, or you gotten into most states?
So I'm gonna I'll make up a number. Can we just say we're in like 42.0 states so that I keep it on brands without like totally knowing the number?
That's actually a number I saw online too, by the way, 42. So
there we go.
I think it's accurate.
Yeah, there we go. We'll keep that. Maybe we just lock that number in and then like, sorry, Maine. Yeah. So a few years ago our home is Atlanta, but like the ethos of Sweetwater, the invention of the brands, and Freddie and Kevin's brand was born out in Colorado. So they're like, Colorado for a while was like kind of a second home to us. So for a while we went go west, young man, and kind of had that, sort of bringing Sweetwater to all the place where there's fresh water. And like, we couldn't do that without awesome partnerships like we have, like Atlanta. You think of, gridlock traffic, but think of like the other big partners we have in the city, one of which is Delta Airlines. And we are so fortunate to be one of the beer brands on Delta Airlines. Amazing like partnership with an Atlanta brand. And for us, it's just, you think about everybody who flies on Delta, and you think about us being able to have 420 pale ale in front of these folks. So like, you got all the snowbirds from up north who want to fly down south for the winter. And, there's a solid shot they're flying Delta. So for us, like, it started there. It started with us being able to spread kind of the awareness throughout the U.S. through this awesome partnership. Then kind of laying the foundation of, we were born out west. Let's go out west. Kind of live the 420 highway sign for a little bit.
Yeah.
And just see where the road takes us. Texas has great beer. Like, I will, like, flat out, like, your family's got just like awesome options. And we've got other breweries who, like, text me, sell them to text me, and I'll give some recommendations. Like Blood and Honey is great out there. There's some awesome breweries out in Texas. And for Sweetwater, we kind of reined it in. Like, we went out west and we were like, but we're from the South. We love Southern culture. Like, I don't know if it's the Creole food or Low Country. I don't know what it is, but we kind of reined. So we went out west. We reined it in as kind of owning Atlanta, owning the Southeast. Owning is a strong word, but just kind of wanting to make sure like we are able to prioritize and give back to the communities here in Georgia and beyond.
Just making that focus more in your backyard kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, and for people that, sorry, Scott, for people that are, listening to this podcast wherever they are across the country, you guys aren't in Antarctica yet. See, we're still waiting to try to get somebody that's listening from Antarctica.
Those would be cold beers.
I know, very cold beer.
Nice cold beers.
We have some stats out there that show people are listening in other countries, but I don't think you can find Sweetwater in other countries. But on your website at sweetwaterbrew.com, there is a beer finder. You can type in, wherever beer is sold, a Sweetwater across the country.
We've been spoiled in Tennessee and I've been here 21 years, and I found it from day one. So we're spoiled. I can get Sweetwater anytime I want to, and I do.
It's a good problem.
It is a good problem.
For me, at least.
And one of the things especially early on, you guys have some of the best mix cases around. Like, you'd have, and that's how I discovered Georgia Brown. I think, oh my God, it's one of my favorite beers. Coastal, was it Going Coastal? Maybe there was a pineapple version of that. I remember all this. It was when you would find your mix case, everything in it would be brand new. And if I remember, maybe you had some seasonal ones or different ones at different times of the year, but some of the best mix cases I've ever had were from Sweetwater.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's, I think if you're me, it's like, do I want to go drink 12 420s, or do I want to have a little bit of, something that I start with? Mom, I'm not drinking 12 beers on my own, just in case she listens. But, for us, variety packs are great for, you know, showcasing the diversity of skill set. We can do this beer. We can do that beer, that beer, that beer. I think it provides a lot of value to people who want to have an understanding of craft beer. Again, I come back to like, we want to invite people to what we have going on, and also the brewery down the street, what they have going on. So like it's an invitation to trial different types of beers. And for us, so yeah, we've got like an IPA variety pack that showcases some of our top IPAs. We have a tackle box variety pack where, if somebody needs something a little bit easier for the water, that's what that's meant for. But showcasing what you have, I think is important for trial, for invitation, everything you've got going on. Yeah.
But Tackle Box is a great name for a variety pack too, don't you think? Especially based on your name.
Yeah. So, for us, it's about owning, where we've been. I mentioned, I keep saying, we were born on the water. Freddie and Kevin, the Sweetwater was born in a brewery where we're very close to Sweetwater Creek here in Atlanta, and the guys would go fishing. And so fishing is part of our DNA. And Tacklebot, yeah, it's a great name.
It really is.
And when you think about what should go into it, it's beers for the water. So we've got our tackle box variety. We have a couple different variety packs just meant to invite folks to craft beer. Tackle box is very much, what are beers you're going to enjoy out on the water, on the boat, kind of more sessionable. And then our IPA variety pack, which is going to be like, get ready for some flavor, everybody, because it's coming at you.
Well, yeah, and we were joking earlier about the names, with our committee or whatever. But everything you're talking about is such a great marketing tool of, you don't want to just be, hey, this is just our beer. This is the beer that's really going to get you engaged in whatever style it is.
Yeah. And we're fortunate, we don't want to fake it, right? We want to invest in that fishing community. Anybody can do tackle box, but we want to partner with like-minded folks. So we want to partner with folks who keep our water clean. We want to partner with, fishing companies who can take people fly fishing, and it's catch and release. So the fishing get a chance, to go swim home, my friend. So it's kind of yes, it's marketing, but then there's also the extra layer of no, this is who we were. This is who we started as, but this is also who we are and who we want to be.
You sent us one of the notes in one of the emails, and you sent us an Instagram link. I'm trying to build it up a little bit because it's so good.
Come on, Scott, build it up.
About the dank tank. And I thought about for half a second playing the clip on here, but it goes a little long for maybe for this. But the dank tank, and it's a really good, I guess, an internal video you guys made, and a lot of people within your organization are talking about this dank tank and things. So, first of all, if anybody gets on their website or their Instagram account, look this thing up. It's hilarious. But anyway, talk about the dank tank, and I'll just let you talk about it.
Extremely well produced, by the way.
Thank you.
It is so good.
So the dank tank is a real tank. It's real, and it has been around for since the earliest days of Sweetwater. They moved it from brewery to brewery. So it physically, if you go on one of our tours, you can see the dank tank, and it looks as crazy as it appears in the video. But it's not just a tank. So we pride ourselves on crafts. We pride ourselves on quality. So we kind of this is not a new thing, but historically, Sweetwater, we've had a brewer series where our brewers get to play around. Our brewers get to create a style that they want to have fun with. The only requirement is that it be very fun. And by very fun, I mean bump up the gravity on that SODs, right? So we got away from this a little bit, and we just decided, guys, this is not only craft, this is innovation, this is having fun. Mm-hmm. Having fun is what craft is all about. And so we made a decision to just bring back the dank tank. So part of that was making sure people knew, like, what is the Dank Tank? So we had a lot of fun with this, like, what is the Dank Tank? Did this whole like History Channel spoof. But the Dank Tank it's essentially a brewer series where we, the brewers get to talk about, like, okay, what do you want to brew? And in every fall, it's a fresh hopped double IPA. Like, that is the mandatory. So Fresh Sticky Nugs makes its return every fall. Our brewers go out and scout the freshiest hops that they can find. And then within 24 hours, we have our fresh hopped double IPA. But then, seeing what lies beyond that in the spring and the summer, trying to make it an all year thing where it hasn't been for quite some time. But where our brewers can kind of, test their mettle, where we get to see what else there is in craft brewing that hasn't been explored. That essentially is the ethos of the Dank Tank.
What other, you said Sticky Nugs is brewed in there. What are some of the other ones? Is that is the Boom Chakalaka chocolate brewed in there too?
Boom Chakalaka is that's part of our catch and release strategies. Catch and release is going to be in 6-packs and drafts, 6% chocolate stout. Where we're talking with the brewers is like, you've got to go, 7 and up, bump it up. Let's crank it to 11, not 11%, just music term, crank it to 11.
Mine goes to 11.
So it's exploring. It's like an exploration. What isn't there? So we could talk about, high gravity lagers, for example. We could talk about, things we usually don't dabble in, which could be sours or like beers where we're going to invite, again, I keep talking about an invitation of new people to craft brewing, but also, like, what is something that if you're a craft beer person who loves just has loved beer for many years, what can we do to re-engage and get you thinking? What are things that are going to be, oh, I didn't know that was doable? And so that's what the Dank Tank is meant to do.
I would imagine the brewers in there, not necessarily they're fighting for the space, but I bet they can't wait to be the next one up, right? Oh, it's my turn now?
Yeah, dude, it's like, it's slightly competitive.
Yeah.
Where we all want to talk, we all want to do, like, at the end of the day, we all want something that's going to be good, like, that we are going to enjoy. Because I think if we enjoy it, here at Sweetwater, folks will enjoy it, elsewhere. So it's like, what's a beer we can be proud of, and what's a beer that we can put our stamp on? And yeah, all of our brewers, like, that's what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
Be a Sandlot.
It's really, those videos are so much fun. So for people interested, where can they go and find those videos?
So we've got our Instagram channel is the main one. So if you follow at sweetwaterbrew.com, at Sweetwater Brew on Instagram, you can find a slew of videos. If you think they're funny, please like them. Please comment.
Yes.
If you don't think they're funny, that's okay, Mom.
We'll make sure we put that link in our post and stuff, because everybody needs to see. I watched it 3 times today. I was back to back.
It's so entertaining.
We had some fun.
I wanted to pull some one-liners from it and discuss them. Every single one of them were so good, I couldn't pull just one because it went from person to person.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you got the one guy who's in the dark, like he's not supposed to be recognized, and he's like, I can't believe you know about this or whatever. It's so good. You can't believe you know about the Dank Tank.
Illegal. Yeah.
And what it probably is too, it's like guys just getting together. There's nothing real scripted. Everything is just off the cuff, where everybody's just having fun.
Probably all had 3 or 4 beers before we filmed.
Yeah.
It was a good time. The big one for us, though, Nick is in that video. Willie is in that video. I think craft beer can stand out. I've talked about flavor. I've talked about invitation. I haven't talked about people. Craft beer, I think, can really stand out by showcasing what goes behind the craft. And the people it's like, that's it. It's the people. So, we wouldn't be anywhere today without Nick, without Willie, without a very talented team of brewers. And I think for craft beer, it's how do you showcase those brewers? How do you showcase them, whether it's educational or entertainment, like where we just do crazy, weird stuff. And like, I hope some people find this Dank Tank video funny. for us, there's a point and showcase, just the awesome talent that goes behind making our beers every day.
I think it's great. You're humanizing the beer in a sense where you're getting to see the people that make it. Like, they're real people back there. It's not just some machine that does it.
It's, Sweetwater or insert name beer here. That's what's going to separate craft apart and get attention of young folk.
Whatever young folks
that's
are.
what's I feel like, showcasing the people behind the brand, it's important. And I don't even think that's just beer. I think that's just, life today, where everything is so visible. People can look in this, I could research, I don't know whether it's true or not, but I could do any sort of research on how to repair XYZ thing in my house. Information is at your fingertips. And people can look into, like, is this a brand that I want to purchase? And if they see that there are people behind the brand, that's more than a logo. That's more than a price. That's more than just like a style. It's the folks who bring it to life. And that's kind of like where I think a lot of the magic happens. Again, whether it's beer, toilet paper, I don't know about toilet paper, but like, that's the gist.
I think you said in the beginning that you've been with the company, 5 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we are live right now here in January 2026. It's been about 5 years. 5 years ago was, we were in the midst of just some crazy times in the beer industry, and just we were in the midst of crazy times, period. And I was so fortunate to join a family and a brand. Like, I'm from Atlanta. I went to school at one of the most prominent football programs in the country. And by the time that this podcast airs, Georgia Tech will have won the national championship, I think. Let's timestamp this. So, like, I'm from Atlanta, and I you see Sweetwater everywhere.
Yeah.
And just so fortunate during that period to join the team that I've been made. It's a family, and it's a fun family, and it's a family that enjoys lots of beers at 4:20 p.m. That's like kind of our enjoy a beer at this crazy time. And I wouldn't change it for the world.
And I think the cool thing is, the company's been around about 28 years. You started about 5 years ago. You had to have some of these aha moments when you met some of these folks you've been talking about. You're like, now I can really even understand more why this company has flourished as much as I have with these people that I'm surrounded by.
Yeah. And, it's a family where you've got great mentors. So I was so fortunate to be mentored by the founders and by the former CMO and just so many other folks who have had so much influence, not only on Sweetwater, but on craft beer in the Southeast. So it's like, why would you not take advantage of that? And then why would you not pick the brain of our brewers and talk to them and really piss them off? Just in any way, shape, or form with your stupid questions. That's what I do. That's what I'm here for.
Who is this guy that's submitting these ideas for stupid names?
Right.
No,
why
I'm just kidding.
Why is he wearing short shorts and short sleeves in the brew house when he knows that's a compliance complaint? OSHA. I wear jeans and safety equipment, if you're listening. Like, I feel like your question is there's a lot to your question, and it relates to the history. It relates to the people who have been here. It relates to the people who are here now. And the team and the vision of Sweetwater have just been great. And the guiding light on the brand, on who we are, on the beers we make. And the magic happens way, way, way more down in the brew house than it does in anything that I do. Yeah, being able to just talk to people, and everybody's inviting, everybody's sharing, everybody knows what Sweetwater has been and what Sweetwater is and what Sweetwater can be. So it's a huge family.
I'll say cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers. A really good explanation.
Well, definitely cheers.
Because we're in 2026, we may or may not have missed the holiday release. You guys have a holiday release, Festive Ale. Talk about that a little bit. And
we
hope to get it maybe
so many Festive Ales in the last 5 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Sure. So Festive Ale, Man, Festival is a great one. We do that one every year. It is our holiday release. It's our Christmas season, give back to folks, 6-packs, limited time only. And honestly, people will email me and just comment on our social media like, hey, when is Festival coming back? And I'm like, it's coming back the same time it always does. Just like my toddler asking me like, is it Christmas Eve? I'm like, no, it's October. So yeah, very excited about Festival. It's always a great one that we look forward to.
That's cool. We'll look for it this upcoming holiday season in 2026.
Yeah,
it's so long between
plan ahead, Scott.
Totally. You mentioned briefly a little bit about the kind of the water conservation stuff you guys do. It's obviously water is very important to you guys. It's important in beer. It's important to all of us. Can you talk a little bit about some of the programs you guys are a part of?
Yeah. Man, it's kind of like I don't know where to begin. So, we've worked with many years with several different organizations. Step back. Water is in our name. Water is in the thing that we produce, right? Like you can't have great beer without clean water. So water is very important to us. It's not just a leisure activity. It's in our blood. So we partner with several organizations who are dedicated to just the preservation of life, the preservation of our water. One of the biggest ones that we work with is Waterkeeper Alliance, which is a global organization with many chapters here in the U.S. Locally in Georgia, it's the Chattahoochee Waterkeeper, which again, that's like the main vein that flows through Atlanta. That's our main drinking water. And Waterkeeper Alliance is it's an amazing partner doing amazing work you wouldn't think of, right? Like, so I think the biggest thing they have bringing awareness to issues with our drinking water and right now PFAS is becoming this word where people are getting awareness of plastics that are in our drinking water. If it's in our drinking water, it's in our source water. If it's in our source water, it's being consumed by fish and animals and who knows what. Which PFAS, I had to write this down because polyfluoroalkyl chemicals, and I did not do well in chemistry, so I had to write that down. So they're bringing awareness to and testing like PFAS levels in main water streams across the country, and it's amazing to hear what goes on. It's amazing to hear behind the scenes the advocacy that they have for us to have clean water and clean water sources, and the fight that they have, whether it's globally, whether it's combating organizations who contribute to PFAS, or even just EPA guidelines on like what are levels of PFAS. Like, guys, we work in beer. We need water. Like it became just so crazy just how much we need organizations to stand up for water. So, that's just one example. And so we're super fortunate to work with these organizations, and I come to work, loving what I do and loving, obviously I love the beer, but then you think about a cause beyond yourself, a cause that can last over a lifetime. And you talk with people who are making a great difference in our environments and causes both locally and globally. And that's like a great reward for what we want to do in terms of our sustainability. So we work with Waterkeeper Alliance, and we include them in our 420 Fest, where proceeds go to their organization, and it's great to tie into organizations like that.
Let's go to 420 Fest. I know it's a big event for you guys. I've never been. Yeah. It is on my bucket list. Let's talk a little bit about that because it looks really damn cool.
Yeah. So by the time of this, we are recording live in January. Welcome to 2026.
That's right. Happy New Year.
Time flies.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the lineup that has been maybe posted. But yeah, we're back. We're excited for another year. We've got a great new home. We're back in the outdoors in Westside Park, Atlanta. Save the date, April 17th through 18th, where we're super excited. It's going to be a great show. Like, the environment is part of our DNA, much like music is part of our DNA. So for 20 Fest, this will be our 21st year. of 420 Fest, and it's a great show. It's a great show every year. Every year, just such authentic and fun and spirited acts that we're excited to showcase and fortunate to showcase. We're looking forward to another year here in April.
And you mentioned, I think before we even got on here, that people come from all over for this thing, right? Like just all over the country, maybe the world.
We've got last year, I want to say 5 continents.
Wow.
Which we were talking about Antarctica earlier, and I still don't think that's part of our core demo just yet.
Not yet. It's coming.
But like 5 continents, 48 states, and it's a tribute to just the amazing artists that want to be a part of what we do, and it's so humbling. It's just, you go back through the years and years of 420 Fest and the folks that have come to perform. 420 Fest has moved venues a few times, but the folks who have come to perform have been just amazing artists, ranging from, we've had Snoop Dogg. Last year we had the Revivalists and Marcus King and Slightly Stupid. We've had such gifted artists, and this year it's much of the same. That's core for our brands. We're all about music. We're all about having a good time and celebration. It ties in with Earth Day, so it's perfect for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's perfect to showcase like what we give back to. And if you've not been, let's go. Let's talk about some tickets.
All right, that's awesome. I would love to do that. I mean, it's like you've been doing it for 20 years, and it says something like 20,000 people show up for this thing. It's not a small event at all.
Yeah. It's great. It's great for the city of Atlanta, inviting our friends and family, but also for the folks outside of Atlanta, whether it's Georgia, whether it's the Southeast, whether it's, we had ticket buyers and Europe showcasing what Atlanta is all about. Yep. So, it's a great time. Listen to music. You drink great beers. You're just an amazing atmosphere with friends and family. And it is one of the best weekends of the year.
And you may even get to meet Evan too. You never know.
You might. I'm usually running around, but I'm running around with the beer. So if you do see me, let's cheers.
There you go.
No, we're kind of winding down. We don't want to keep you forever. You do have a toddler, you said. But is Untapped the app? You guys are a big brewery. Do you guys care at all? Does it come across your radar? And if so, how do you guys even care about it?
I don't know a craft beer person who isn't on Untapped or doesn't think about Untapped. I mean, for us, we use it in a few ways. One, you get to listen to people who care about craft beer. So you get to hear what they think about your beer. 2, I mentioned our tap room earlier, and that's just a great hub for a couple reasons. One, like it invites people to Sweetwater. You get the whole 360 Sweetwater experience. But 2, you get to rate a lot of beers that we have on our pilot system that don't make it beyond the 4 walls of our brewery. So we kind of use it to litmus test, what is a beer that folks enjoy? And you never know what you're going to get because you never know what one person might think or another person, or like they rate it 1 star, but 1 star was because of, carbonation or service. 5 stars, could be something else. Or like it was my 5th beer, so 5 stars. So Untapped is it's great. It's great for research. It's great for community involvement. It's great for just the profile of craft beer. I think that one is the biggest. Being able to understand what I can get here at Sweetwater versus a brewery down the road or a brewery in Nashville. Like, how do I enjoy something that I've had at another part of town or another part of the country? And Untapped is an amazing vehicle for that.
I found that interesting because as big as you guys are, I wouldn't have thought it would have come across your radar. Obviously, I assume you knew what it was, but did it factor into anything? But it obviously does. Yeah. So and kind of my point with this, because Steve and I have talked about this many times, Untapped, when someone gives a crappy rating for the wrong reason on a beer, and there's a million of those.
I don't like IPAs.
I don't like
not
IPAs,
a good beer.
That kind of thing. But go back to that video where you got the people's faces that are making the beer. There are real people behind that thing. So, so kind of my point is, hey man, people are doing this. So don't just give something a crappy rating because you don't like it. But I like your point of view on that. I think it's really interesting.
I think it's fair. I think if somebody rates something, and social media is what it is these days, right? Like I could say something to somebody 5 million miles away. I don't know how big planet Earth is. So I made that number up and like not have a care in the world. But that's how close communities are now. Craft beer communities, I love the fact that we're able to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And if I know that, somebody rated something poorly because they don't like IPAs, okay. If I know somebody rated an IPA poorly because they don't like Citra hops, that's another thing.
You can almost throw those out,
And
can't you?
yeah, you just kind of pick it. You can filter it. But like having that understanding is great. Furthermore, it offers an environment that can develop, kind of a craft beer culture. Like if we all are talking about beer, we're raising the profile of craft beer.
Yeah.
And we're making craft beer fun. And I think beer, I had a predecessor who said this, like beer is an awesome, awesome tool to bring people to the talking table. Whatever they have to talk about. Could be politics, could be anything going on in this world, could be just let's go crack jokes, let's reconnect. But beer can get people to talk. If we're talking to craft beer, like that's great for craft beer. And Untapped, I think it's a platform that does that.
Yeah.
So if I get a 1-star, we're talking about why I got that 1-star. If I get a 5-star, we're talking about 5s, and that's great. So yeah, I personally love the platform, use the platform both professionally and personally because it's a great tool for beer lovers.
And you might teach somebody something.
Yeah.
At the same time that somebody who gave something a bad rating, maybe you teach them, educate them.
There's so much. Again, I go back to how much I piss off our brewers with my dumb questions and showing up in like athletic shorts and flip flops in our brew house. Like there's so much to learn about beer that the more you learn, the more you appreciate it.
We talk about this sometimes, Scott and I do. We'll go back and like look at our ratings from 5 years ago to hopefully now on certain beers and go, are you rating it higher? And hopefully you are. And on certain
we
times.
didn't have that perspective back then when we started talking to brewers. We're like, oh shit, there are people on the other side of this. Actually, to your point exactly earlier, there are people on the other side of this thing.
I think if you're not a brewer or brewery listening to feedback, then you're not playing the game right. Like it's about talking to people.
Yeah.
So.
And there may be some useful information in there, even in some of the crummy ratings or something you might possibly get. Yeah, guys.
Yeah, of course. There's technical stuff too.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've got one more thing. Steve and I do this top 10. We do top 10 beers. We do top 10 breweries that we've visited every year. It's kind of a recap thing. And we've put it on our website the past couple of years, which we have not maintained very well the last 6 months. But anyway, our top for 2023 and 2024 are listed on the website. My number one brewery visited in 2023, and it's on the website, was Sweetwater, Fort Collins, Colorado. And I will read the last sentence. I got a big, long description about why I liked it, but the very last sentence I wrote in my description, I said, I would put this Sweetwater location in the upper echelon of breweries that I've been to, like Sierra Nevada in Mills River, North Carolina, and Blue Moon in Denver. Like that level of hierarchy. So
man, those are like meccas.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I was like, wait a minute. I think I rated them number one year. That was 2 years ago. So legitimately big fans of yours, as I've mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So we, I love that Fort Collins brewery. And for us, I think I mentioned, we made it a very clear imperative to come back home. Sweetwater, born in the Southeast. And we were so fortunate to have a sister brand in Breckenridge Brewing, and for them, great beer, Colorado, giving back, and while we were there, like it was so fun. You learn from literally your neighbor is one of the most well-respected breweries in craft beer. Like I hope you didn't just go to Sweetwater. I hope you went to a fruit brewery.
We stayed at Sweetwater for 5 days in a row, just every day, just all day.
Wow. Yeah.
We were all over the place at Fort Collins.
Good. Great town, great beer folks, and being able to work with our innovation brewers there, which we still do, just because that's a town that knows a ton about beer that I will never ever fathom. And it's so we still kind of have a presence there. Breckenridge Brewing is just absolutely crushing it. and Colorado and Fort Collins, and we thought, there's not another brewery here that deserves to be here more than Breck. Whereas we felt, our place here it's back home. It's back in the South. It's causing traffic problems in Stephen Scott's neck of the woods. Let's cause traffic problems for Evan.
Oh, why not?
Let's go bombard the airport. So it was kind of, let's come back home a little bit, invest in our community, and go from there.
Well, we absolutely love what you're doing. Again, years ago. I mean, I don't know how long I've been drinking craft beer, 10 years.
Long time,
I don't know, but a long time. And you guys were right at the cusp of it, right at the beginning, and you'll always be part of my journey.
Same here.
Great. That's great. Well, thank you guys so much. I think that's that's not marketing. That's our brewers. That's everybody who's been a part of the family for 28 years, making great beers, making consistent beers, making quality beer. And I'm glad to have as many folks along for the ride as long as they will have me.
There you go.
It's a very recognizable brand too. Not just the individual beers, but the brand itself. That logo right behind you is very recognizable, and I would assume 9 out of 10 people probably could recognize that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for saying that.
Steve, anything else? Evan, is there anything we didn't cover that you would like to talk about?
No, I'm just excited to be here in January live.
Happy New Year
with everybody in January 2026. It's been such a great year so far. I forgot all about that frost last weekend.
Yeah, time flies, doesn't it? You look up and it's January.
I'm telling you.
Here we are. The Falcons made it to something.
Wow, you went on a limb on two teams.
I appreciate you guys having me. If you guys, I love talking beer, so I could talk beer for another 2 hours. Appreciate it, and hopefully we'll do this again. And we won't wait 11 months.
It happened when it was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Well, thanks, Evan. We appreciate it, man. And we'll just tell anybody, if you're going to Atlanta and get to Sweetwater, and they also do tours. Totally. So go on their website and you can get all the information on their website about the tours as well, if you want to do that.
Yeah. We've got regular tours, high gravity tours. The high gravity tours give you the whole facility. I'm once again waving my arms like a weather forecaster. High gravity tours are great. It's one of the top 10 tours in the country. That's not me saying that. That's USA Today. It's a great tour. If you're ever in Atlanta, it's a fun time. Learn about beer, drink beer, have fun, talk to folks, and have a good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. We'll say.
Yeah, thank you. I'm overdue for getting to Atlanta. I just want to say I'm way overdue. So
let's do it.
We'll make sure we're in touch.
Embrace the traffic.
Evan, we'll say cheers to you.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Cheers to you, man. And Sweetwater Brewing Company.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me. I love it.
Brewery Underground Podcast.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.